Good morning, you lovely lot. Welcome to, well, Friday's edition of Crafters TV. This one being Wake Up Call. Of course, this is where your weekend starts, right here. We have got a day jam-packed full of soft crafts and, of course, mixed media. Now we've got the two. How can two cross over? How can two become one? Well, we've got them both in the building today. We've got Becky, we've got Jan as well. Hey!
Brilliant, it's nice. And when you said jam-packed is what I heard. Not jam-packed, but jam-packed.
There you go.
Jam-packed day.
Jam-packed day today, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good to, as well. Me and Jan, we've been on together quite a few times as of late.
We
sorry
have,
about
haven't we?
that.
Yes.
You always seem to get me, sorry.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I love it. I have a blast when I'm on with you. And then, well, we've hardly ever been on.
They keep us apart, don't they? I think it's deliberate.
I think so.
We very rarely get to work together, so I'm looking forward to working together.
Yeah, and if you're thinking, what do you mean by that? Well, just watch the first hour anyway, and then we're on together for 2 hours later on. What are you going to be having a look at within Wake Up Call?
We've got lots of Builder-Block bits and pieces today.
Okay.
So we've got the original Builder-Block, we've got the Builder-Block Plus, which has been super busy already.
Okay.
We've got the Alphabet Builder-Block, we've got Bailey's, we've got all sorts of different things about Builder-Block. So it's going to be a Builder-Block, almost like a masterclass.
Masterclass.
Yeah.
So you're in the first hour of Wake Up Call, and then we'll be back for Softer Side of Life, which is 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. And then you get an early finish on a Friday, although you are back tomorrow, aren't you, on the presenting side?
I am,
you
yeah,
are
all
indeed.
weekend.
All weekend.
Yeah.
So while you get to have a little early break, then Jan, you're going to be in the second hour of Wake Up Call and in the last show of the day.
Yeah, so about 12 noon, I reckon, here in the UK. So then I'm going to take over from Becky. And we've got a mixed media show coming up again at 6 p.m. here in the UK this evening. So when I say mixed media, again, if you watched our show back in January, it's a similar kind of thing. But what I've tried to do is come up with some alternative demos with the products. So if you bought the products last time we were on, it's just giving you some more ideas of things you can do with them. And we've got 3 sort of base products to work around, which I've just brought you some samples to show to give you an idea. So we've got the cut and emboss folders on the show. I'm going to use one of these in the Wake Up Call demos just to show you how these work and then add some inks to them. So you can see there, you can see those beautiful daisies. And then we've got the forget-me-nots on that one. So that's just a few of those.
Excellent.
And then we've also got those, I love these, those ellipse edgeables.
Oh, yes.
So again, we're going to be doing some work with those later on in the show. And I'm going to be working on some, these are actually lighter colours, but I've actually brought some dark card and we're going to incorporate that gilding wax again. So you've got those lovely edgeable borders that create these sort of different designs. So again, I've just picked 2 or 3 out, showing you different ways that you can use them in your standard crafting.
Yeah, that looks so smart.
We're going to start and incorporate some of those colouring mediums that we can get to make, you know, a little bit more mixed media. And then I was thrilled to see these, absolutely thrilled. We've got those gorgeous new textured embossing folders on. So again, we're going to use some of those colouring mediums like the inks and the sprays in conjunction with some of the textured folders. So this one's the wood grain on here. We've got that lovely leaf design.
Wow, look
and
at
then
that
I
one.
love this one. I had to pick this one out. You've got that gorgeous print design in the background mixed with one of our illustrated animals there. So again, mixing and matching with things that you've already got. The folders make an excellent background, whether you want to emboss them onto card, like this one has an inked background. I'm going to show you some different techniques later. So yeah, I've got lots lined up.
It's going to be good.
Little dabble into it in Wake Up Call at about 12. And then, as I say, the main show at 6 o'clock tonight with all the other goodies in.
Excellent. I told you, we have got lots and lots coming your way. So that first show after Wake Up Call, Softer Side with Becky and myself, that will be 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. And then that masterclass with myself and Jan, that's going to be 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, we do have Rachel on the comments this morning, and she is just saying, well, good morning to you all. My iPad has just gone in locked out. So here we go. It's live. So let's go in. So as I say, we've got Rachel on the comments this morning, and she's saying that Bethan's in saying good morning all. We've got Lynn is saying hi from the Isle of Wight and good morning. Well, good morning to you. Karen Wells Sorrell is saying good morning from Kentucky. Tess is saying good morning. Craig, Becky, Jan, CCTV team, crafty friends from a very, very cold Wisconsin. Not too cold today.
No, I've had to take my jacket off. It's too warm in
Too
here.
warm in here.
I know. I was all jacket because you've been so smart lately. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear a jacket, but it's too hot.
Too
It's just
hot.
too hot in here.
Yeah, this will probably come off later on in the show as well. It is very, very hot, that's for sure. Angela is saying good morning, Craig, Jan and Becky. Christine Mahoney is saying good morning. Well, good morning to you. Today is the perfect day to get any questions in, whether it is all about that softer side, your soft crafts, and then maybe it is about mixed media or any crafting in general, having Becky and then Jan here, both within Wake Up Call, and then Becky and then Jan later on throughout the day. So you can get social by going on to, of course, our Facebook or on YouTube, whichever way you prefer to watch. I know many of you watch when it comes to our shows on YouTube, but you can get in contact via Facebook as well. The other good thing as well for you guys stateside anyway, your shipping has come down. $9.95 for your shipping. It's going to be a lot faster as well. So after the dispatch, once it's been dispatched, 2 to 3 days, which is phenomenal. So that's a really, really good thing to know in the knowledge of when you are purchasing your items within 2 to 3 business days after dispatch, it's going to be winging its way to you. Now, whether you're here in the UK, for you guys stateside or beyond, you need to know where to go. That's, of course, our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. You're going to be hit with our screen today. We've got Sarah there with up to 50% off. Now, that will be coming to an end very, very soon. We've also got what we've got remaining from that phenomenal Ben Cartload. What did you get yesterday when it come to Ben's phenomenal cartload? Did you get a signed picture? Ben, if you are watching, where's mine? Waiting on mine. I've not got, none of us have got one, Ben.
Shocking.
So, apparently for the staff in here, he was actually charging 20 quid for a signed photo. There we go. Liam paid 20 quid. I wouldn't say it's quite worth 20 quid, but anyway, Ben, yes, so do let us know. Just to make it clear as well, he wasn't actually charging anyone money for his signed photo. But yeah, Ben, we are wanting 3. Apparently, and I'm laughing, but I'm not joking when I say we've just about ran out of them when it comes to the signed photos. Ben had to sign more throughout the day. See, I didn't see Carlo. I was actually prepping for something I've got next week. And he had to then he signed 500 to start with, and then in the craft along, he was signing another 500 as well. But Johnny was just saying there is still a few remaining. So Ben, that's 3 that we would like as well. We don't want just your name on them. We want, a lovely to Craig, I love you so much, my crafty friend, or same to Jan, or same to Becky. Let us know. Rightio, so we have got that opportunity to have a look back on some of those deals. The other thing you may have seen, and it's not necessarily going to be highlighted today throughout the shows, but there is a launch on the website. Did you see that new storage case? Phenomenal storage case. Go across and have a look at there. There we go. We've got Charlotte, we've got Johnny in the gallery today. There's Sarah with that last chance. And as you see, the pages tick away. We're going to be feeling the crafty love with that coming up. But there we go. Store it all. This is your multi-pocket binder, brand new. I have seen pictures of it, and I know that you can absolutely store lots and lots and lots of things when it comes to that one there. So keep an eye on that when it comes to the website. Right, let's have a look at, a few things first. We have got builder blocks here. Now, the reason I'm also really looking forward to this part of Wake Up Call and then softer side of life later on is I'm not a soft crafter. I don't do sewing or stitching or anything like that. So I'm really, really intrigued to see how all of these are going to work. Now, this first one here, this is your builder block system, and it's got your extension pack as well. Now, basically, what you're going to be paying for this and getting that one for free, $74.99 or $104.96. Your platinum comes down to $59.99 or $83.97. Now, what you've got there is you've got your 18 elements inside when it comes to the builder block. Now, when it comes to this one here, I'm not going to go into it in a lot of detail because hands up, I don't know lots about it, and that's why we've got Becky. But what you do have is your expansion pack as well. So that's going to come in there completely free. So this is your builder block system with the extension pack, 2-pack, which is 2, but it works out that you're paying for this. You're going to get that one for free, $74.99 or $104.96. Now you can see that saving, $54.99 or $79.94. That is a phenomenal saving for sure. But as we said there, it's even better if you are platinum because it comes down to $59.99 or $83.97. Now we've then got our Builder Block Plus. Now this one is limited stock already. It's going to be a busy day here on Crafters TV. We've just gone 11 minutes into the first live show of the day and we've got a limited stock. Now this one is the Builder Block system. It's going to give you your expansion pack. I can see I'm going to trip over that word all day today. Expansion pack. So same kind of deal as that one there, different price, but I'll go over that. You are paying for your Builder Block and then you're going to be getting that one for free. $74.99 or $138.67. Platinum comes down to $59.99 or $110.94. So within this one here, being the Builder Block system, that's where you're going to be getting your expansion pack for free. $74.99 or $138.67. I mean, that's saving as well, where you're saving $54.99 or what's that, $46.23 is what you're saving. That alone, this one just alone, is worth £30 or $41. So that's where you can see that saving as well. So saving all over the place, but that price today is exceptional. But if you are platinum, it's even better because of course it comes down to $59.99 or $110.94. Now, Becky, to me, as a paper crafter, they look like matte and layer dies, nesting dies. What is it when it comes to sewing and soft crafts? What is it that these do?
I mean, yeah, in fact, you could use them for paper craft if you wanted to.
Could you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You could definitely use them for paper craft. Although we've also included a seam allowance on there, so you probably need to sort of, if you're going to put them together like patchwork and paper, you'd have to do a little bit of jigging, is what I would say.
Right.
But these are your bread and butter. So if you are about to start doing patchwork, or if you are a patchworker and you're just a little bit fed up with using your rotary cutter to cut squares out or cut triangles out, these are the key things. They will make your work so much quicker, so much more accurate, and you'll be able to create beautiful things in a fraction of the time. So these are, if you're just about to start, these are definitely the things that I would say to get. Now we do lots of different builder blocks and with lots of different designs, but the main one, the original builder block, has squares, half square triangles and quarter square triangles. And with those, you can make so many different designs. If I grab the box here and show you the outside, this is an example of some of the blocks you can make here. This is not all of them by any stretch of the imagination. This is just an example. Now you can't make all of the blocks in all of the sizes, just like you can't make everyone happy all of the time.
No, that's it.
That saying was. But you'll be able to make these kind of designs. And I always think these kind of shapes, they remind me of Victorian sort of hallways, you know, with all those little tiny tiles.
Can you imagine the tiles? Yeah.
That's what these remind me of. But lots and lots of different designs, very traditional, but also some very contemporary designs in there as well. I've got a few samples here to show you.
Okay.
I say a few. I've got loads.
You've got loads.
So this is one I made last year. This is just using squares and half square triangles. That's it. Nothing else. Right. Just squares and half square triangles. And you can make something like that. Then you could do other sort of more contemporary bits and pieces, like this one here, with these kind of stars.
And that's all come from that set?
All from this set. And this one here, which I think is particularly clever, it's got a really cool kind of woven look to it. Again, squares, half square triangles. And that's all you're using. Now, by using the builder block system, you are managing to eradicate the confusion and the worry that things are not going to match together. So in this one, this is the original builder block. These are the shapes you're going to be getting. Now, with the option that we have with the expansion pack, you're going to be getting additional squares in different sizes, so different size increments. So they go together. You'll be able to make extra things with these. So they're not duplicating the squares that you've already got in this one. They are additional. And if you're going to be getting the one with the Builder Block Plus, this one does not include any squares. This has rectangles, isosceles triangles, and half rectangle triangles. So obviously the squares are a welcome addition to pop into that, but they will all work together. And the brilliant thing is, these two work separately and together.
And
So if you get them both, you'll be able to make even more different designs because you'll be able to add them together. So there is so many options in here.
And with each one, you're getting that free expansion pack as well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, really, really useful. The one I'm going to concentrate on is the Builder Block Plus. So this is the one that has got rectangles, isosceles triangles, and half rectangle triangles.
Do you know what else?
What?
It's limited stock, remember?
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's not going to be much left.
It's so clever. So when you get your pack here, you'll see you get, these ones look like this, you've got these little drawers. The same with the original Builder Block as well. With the other Builder Block system that we've got, things like, this is the alphabet and numbers dies, it looks slightly different in that you've only got one drawer in here. And it's a larger set. It's like an A4 kind of size, where this is, I don't know, squat. I'd call it. It's
a squat.
It's a squat. It's
yeah, I could see.
How big is it? It's I don't know, a few inches. I can't work it out. So you've got all of your different designs here. I've just lost my pen that was holding my hair up. I know. I'll have to pick it up in a minute. And in here you've got your little roadmap. So each one of these drawers has this roadmap which shows you the different sizes that you've got in here. So we've made it very, very clear about everything that you're using, and they all slot perfectly into these little spaces. And it means that everything's kept where it's supposed to be. You're not going to lose it. And if you're clever like Leanne is, Leanne said this to me, she always lifts up these little pieces, and that's where she puts the fabric that she's working on. So she has her projects being kept nice and safe and everything all together. Now, the great thing about this is it saves time by using these different dies. It means that it's going to be really quick for you to cut everything out. You can imagine if you were going to be using, say we're going to be using this half rectangle triangle, for example.
Yeah.
If I was using that as a template, I'm cutting here, and then I'm flipping it round, I'm cutting this side, and I'm flipping it round, I'm cutting that side, and that's 3 cuts. 3 cuts I could potentially get slightly out.
Yes.
I'm going over the fabric because I've obviously got to start before that little acrylic template, and I'm finishing at the end. So I'm cutting more fabric than I actually need. Whereas if you're using your Gemini and you're using these Builder Block dies, you're going to be able to put your fabric right up against the die, and you'll be able to minimise the amount of wastage that you've got. So what we're going to do is we're going to start putting them through the machine.
Okay.
So I've got already pre-cut some of my shapes already, but I want to cut a few more. So just move those out of the way.
So this really is, it's not taking any of the creativity away. It's just cutting down on the
boring bit.
The boring bit, yeah, and it's making it all accurate.
That's absolutely right. Now, in each of these, you'll get your little booklet here. The booklet is super, super useful. Now, it talks about the grain line, making sure you're cutting your fabric straight on your fabric, and that's to do with how the fabric is made. You've heard me talk about the grain lines before. If anyone wants me to go over that again, just message in and let me know, and I can go over that again.
I remember you telling me about that once before, yeah.
And it then suddenly makes sense. You suddenly look at your clothes and think, I know why that thing
It's either stretches one way or it's quite taut the other way.
Exactly.
So you remember that?
Oh, I taught you something new.
Yeah.
Very exciting. And as you go through this little booklet, it will show you all of the different designs that you can make. Well, some of the different designs. You'll definitely be able to find more designs that you're able to produce. And it will show you how many of each shape you need to cut out in order to make the different sizes. And it will tell you what sizes you need to cut in order to make the different size blocks. So as you go through here, you will find some of them, like this one here. This one requires the original Builder Block patchwork system because you're going to be using half square triangles in this one.
Okay.
And you will find a few of those designs that are like that and have that kind of information in there. But there's loads of different designs that you could be making in here. And actually, you know, if you bought one of these and you bought some fabric, you could make a different block. No, lots and lots of different blocks, sew them all together, and you've made like a sampler quilt. And it would take you, I mean, sampler quilts, I always think, you know, would take months to make. You could do this in a weekend.
So in that title, that really does mean something substantial where it says Builder Block System.
Yeah.
That system is a key word, isn't it?
Absolutely. No, it definitely is. It does make it, you will not regret in investing in this at all. It really does make a big difference. The one I'm going to do is a Ninja Star, which is this one over here. And I've chosen some really super bright fabrics that we've got on the show, what we've got on the website. So I've already pre-cut a few samples of fabric. So this is just ordinary cotton fabric. I want to pop them on here. So if I was doing this at home and I was spending time, I'd be making sure that I've ironed this fabric. I'd be making sure that I'd cut everything, so I was minimising the excess fabric that I was using. But I've just done this really quickly today. And then I'm going to pop this on my fabric plates. So I'm using my fabric plates here. So the fabric plates, if you haven't got fabric plates and you're thinking about buying the patchwork system, I would definitely recommend them. So the fabric plates are thicker metal, quite significantly thicker than the metal shim that you get with your normal Gemini.
Can I feel it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've never actually looked at them before.
They're really rigid. You can't really flex them.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, really strong. So the idea is that by using these, particularly with these dies, because these dies are obviously thicker than your normal papercraft dies, and you're cutting through multiple layers of fabric, you're cutting through maybe 8 layers of fabric at a time, you want to make sure that you minimise the...
That's a difference, isn't it, between the paper craft and the soft
And you can
craft?
see the marks that you get on that. It's still usable, you can still cut fabric with those, but if you're going to be doing a lot, it's worth investing in those. And you're using it exactly the same way as you do your other plates. So you would have your clear plate, thank you, your clear plate, your metal plate, your fabric with your die facing down, a little bit of low-tack tape, or a lot of low-tack tape as I've now cut off, doesn't matter. And then your metal plate over the top and your plastic, your clear
so
plate over the top
holding
of that.
it all together, you would still use something like our low-tack tape, even though that's material and it's a thicker metal
particularly
plate.
as fabric can be quite thick and you don't want it slipping. And you might want, you might have a really patterned piece of fabric, and by using the dies, you're almost fussy cutting them. So you want to make sure everything comes in the right place. It's definitely worth doing. Now, I don't bother using my normal plates when I'm doing papercraft.
Right, okay.
Because I'm too lazy and they're on the other side of the room. So I just use these still. Yep, that's what I use. It works perfectly fine.
So say, let's say for instance, right, instead of that being one of these dies, say it was just a normal wafer thin die that we use and it was cardstock, what would the plate configuration then be?
It depends. Sometimes you might have to do a bit of fiddling. Quite often, I might do 2 pieces of cardstock.
Okay.
And then the one underneath may not cut perfectly, but you just have that extra place in there. Or it varies. But generally speaking, they just go in as this. I just have my cardstock in here, my die, and then the same plate configuration. It seems to be working fine.
Well, there you go.
Because I'm lazy. But what was it? Was it Bill Gates or Elon Musk always say, show me a lazy person, and that's the person I'll employ, because they think of things. I mean, it's just too far to walk like 2 meters onto the other side of the room and go and get my other fabric plates. That's
I can feel another purchase coming on now from our website.
It's definitely worth doing. So I've cut some of those. Now, I've also cut some other shapes. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these. And I actually said, when I was putting these together, I was like, my good, it's a bit early for these colours. These are really, really bright. I hadn't realised quite how bright these colours are. We
need some brightness.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah, we need some brightness.
Yeah, OK. Well, we're doing an eye-searingly bright demo here. So we're going to be doing, and where we've got the white pieces, they're going to be green, and where we've got the dark purple pieces, they're going to be pink. So I'm just going to put those together. So I want to have my large isosceles triangle, first of all, like this, and then I want one of my green half rectangle triangles down here, and then I want one of my pink ones like this. So that's effectively what we're going to be doing. Now, often with these things, particularly with triangles, when you're starting to build a block, you almost want to take your triangles and build them into a square. That's effectively what we're doing here. Okay. And then we're going to make 4 of these. I'm going to stitch those all together, and then that is going to make that ninja star. So we've got, with these, we're going to put these right sides together. I mean, it's difficult to tell because I'm obviously using plain fabric. Now, these are triangles. However, they had their ends chopped off.
So why is that?
Well, this is what we call your dog ears. So if you had cut these with a normal rotary cutter, you would have these little tiny pieces at the very end. And when you stitch them together, they're almost bulky pieces of fabric in the design that you want to get rid of. So if we're doing these by hand, we would then trim those little edges off, these little dog ears, so make sure everything lies nice and flat. But because we use the dies, that we've not have to worry about that.
So,
it's easy.
If you buy, usually we say the word inexpensive.
Yeah.
If you buy a cheap cushion from somewhere and it's got a design like that where it's matching, and then in the corners you have that thicker feel to it, that's because it's not been dog-eared and it's just been quickly sewn together.
Yeah. So this, in theory, when you start stitching, as long as you make sure you're making sure you're ironing and you're laying everything nice and flat, it will mean that everything is nice and flat underneath and you don't have that bulk.
Perfect.
I'd say that about using the iron, and I just realised I haven't got the iron out of the cupboard.
Oh no.
So I'm just going to finger press that today, so it won't be a problem. So I'm just going to stitch along, and I'm using 1/4 inch seam allowance. The 1/4 inch seam allowance has already been taken into account with these dies, so that 1/4 inch seam allowance is already there. So provided you are accurate with your stitching, I use a foot on my machine that has a little guide at the side, so you buffet your fabric up against the side, and it means that it doesn't then move. Mm-hmm. That would be a nice even 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way across.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Of course.
See, just before, when you went to sew that with the machine, you said you're not having your iron, and you said you finger pressed. Is it literally as? So you're not going to get like a smooth impression like you would with an iron, but you're just pressing the seams down. I'm just going to press that down for the moment. It will be fine. It will be okay. When I come to put everything together, when I put these individual pieces together, I probably will need to go and get the iron and make sure that that's all done. But it's more the fact that if I didn't finger press this here, and then I come to this bit here and I want to sew that here, this section down here, it might be sort of leaving over a little bit. You won't get that nice seam, it won't be nice and straight. So just by finger pressing, you can do that. You can sometimes get a little roller and just roll it across. Like a brayer or something.
And do something like that. But generally speaking, I have a tiny travel iron next to me when I'm sewing, and then I use that because it's small, it doesn't take up a lot of space. And then I've got a big iron downstairs when I can be bothered to go downstairs. But obviously, as you know, I'm terribly lazy.
Do you know what I'm thinking of now for me? Yeah. With fabric. Johnny will be like, oh, here we go. Yeah. Because I've got my Cricut Joy. Yeah. And I've just figured out not the material, but the feature where you can actually go and iron onto fabric. Yeah. And I've done a logo on a T-shirt for myself. And I also done it, I've taken a picture, but I've not shown it yet, is Grey's Anatomy. And one of the scenes from Grey's Anatomy, and I heated it onto a cotton fabric shopping bag, just to trial it. Nice. So I'm just thinking with the builder blocks, if you've got something like that, okay, you could die cut any of your fusible films that you've got for your cutting machines, but you could either die cut it or a Cricut machine, anything like that, Cameo, and you can do it onto the actual adequate layers, and then iron it onto any of your die cut squares that you do, or whatever shape, triangles. Yeah, there's lots of different options you can do. I mean, it is really quite amazing the kind of thing that you can put together. I'm just going to look for what have I done with that? So we've got these two bits here. So that is, if I use that one like that, and then that one goes, get it right, Becky. Have you got any yellow fabric today? Have I got some? I have got some yellow fabric. What did you want me to do? Just a couple of red and yellow bandanas. Yeah, I can do that. Could you? Yeah. Yes, result. Thank you. I can do anything. Right, good. So you can see that is the beginning of our ninja stars. So we do exactly the same thing with the other dies, the other pieces of fabric that we've got here. So I've already got a few bits and pieces here that I've already cut out. So I would just continue to cut the large triangles like this, and then these other ones here to create that design. And they all work in exactly the same way. So where you've got things like here, which is mill block, which is using the same design, same shapes,
just using them in a slightly different format, it shows you how to sew everything together. And it will tell you, you can't make every single size block in every single design, but you can do a whole mixture of them. So you can absolutely really go to town on creating all these different things. I mean, this kind of one here, this one does need the original builder block because you want to use some little squares in there, but really quite complicated designs. But when you break them down and when you're using the builder block, you realise quite how quick and easy it is to make.
See, even my mind now is like starting to tick over. Loving all that possibilities. As I said earlier on as well, for me anyway, the key word within that title is system. That system that you have got, well, Becky was shown there. Now, when it comes to these ones here, so that one was the limited stock one. So this one here, as I say, limited stock. This is the build a block system plus with your expansion pack. So it says 2-pack because this is what you're getting. That's what you're going to be getting for free. So you're going to be getting your expansion pack completely free, $74.99 or $138.67. Look at that saving on your screen. You're going to be saving $54.99 or $46.23. Even better though, if you're platinum, it's going to come down to $59.99 or $110.94. Or if this is your first purchase with us after joining Club Inspire, which we'll go through later on in the day, you will get 20% off your very first order. If this is going to be it, it is going to be $59.99 or $110.94. Please keep in mind though that that one is limited stock. That was the one that Becky was just using there. And then we've also got the original system. Now this one, it's not limited stock, but what I would say is numbers for this time of the morning is still a bit iffy, so keep that in mind if you are thinking about going for this one. This one being the builder block system. This one here is giving you your expansion pack once again. Now $74.99 or $104.96. Really, really good saving once again at $54.99 or $79.94. But platinum, $59.99 or $83.97. Phenomenal for that one there that you're getting for free, no additional cost. So 18 elements within that one there, and then you are going to be getting your expansion pack for free, which you have got 5 elements in there. So really, really good section for, of course, $59.99 or $83.97. That one alone is worth £30 or $41. So keep that one in mind. And as Becky was saying as well, you can be using it with your cardstock. Your cardstock or your heavier weight card, because they are that multimedia form of die. So keep that one in mind. So we'll have a look at them again later on. We've actually got something that caught my eye because it's going to be good with the paper crafts, but it's really busy. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. But what we have got is, now we've got Sweet Imp on YouTube is saying you're going to love Softer Side, Craig. Well, I'm already loving this first half an hour, so I'm looking forward to the 2 hours later. Alison Marr on YouTube says the builder block dies are a complete game changer for quilting. This is how I found Crafter's Companion. Actually, let me know within Wake Up Call as well as throughout the day. How did you find us? Was it that you were given one of our products? Maybe you've seen one of our products, bought it as a one-off, and then realised the quality and what you can do with it. Maybe you've seen us on Shopping TV. Maybe you've come from just following Sarah from The Den or Strictly. How did you find us? Let us know. I'd be interested to know that. We've got Polly Coe on Facebook saying, fabulous morning to all from Blountstown, Florida. Today is my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Paula. Happy birthday, Polly. If it is your birthday or anyone else's birthday, big happy birthday to you all. Rachel is saying, I still haven't found my safe place that I put my builder blocks in. More investigation needs to be had this weekend. How could you misplace something like that, Rachel? How? Although, to be saying that, it's easily done, I suppose, when it comes to my craft room anyway. I could misplace that.
Your craft room always looks super tidy.
I'm gonna pick myself up on that one. It could be a mess at times, but I will still know where things are. Some people, well, Jan's still in the studio and she's nodding away as well. It could look a mess to others, but you say to me, where's such and such? I can go straight to it. If I tidy it all and then go, where is it? Can't find it. And again, Jan's agreeing with me as well. So, yeah, although I do like to be organised, but it can be a mess, that's for sure. Anne has got... Okay, right. Oh. So, Jan, have you got your glitter card now all in colour coordination? Johnny's saying in our ear. Of course. No. All of our cardstock. Even the scraps, Jan has said. So we're going to pick her up on that one when she comes along in about 25 minutes or so. Well organised. I like to be organised.
Do you know what they should do for Play Your Crafts Right? It should be photographs of all of the craft experts, craft rooms, and see if you can identify who is the craft expert from that. That would be quite good. Mine would be the messiest one.
Do you think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know who I think would refuse to do that?
Who?
Debbie Robinson. They've all gone, yeah. No, she's got a lovely craft room now because she spent a lot of time and money on her craft room doing it up.
So I wanted a new building. I wanted a building in the garden as my craft room, and my husband told me to stop being silly. So I've now encroached on the kitchen and the living room now.
Mine used to be out in the garden.
Yeah?
My flat back in Scotland before I moved here,
Yeah.
it was a garden shed.
Yeah.
And I got it insulated and I got it plasterboard and I got electricity and that was my craft room outside.
I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still hankering after it.
More and more people are doing it nowadays as well for many different reasons. Quick question for now and then we will then come back to a few of the other comments just shortly. Alison Marr on YouTube is saying, Becky, do you reverse stitch at the end or just trust the next lot of stitching?
No, I do go back and forth at the start and the end. However, there will be some times when I don't do it, and it's just because I forget. But yeah, with patchwork particularly, because you're sort of opening up, you're sort of making sure, you want to make sure everything's nice and straight, nice and flat and secure. Yeah, definitely, whenever you're sewing, I would reverse back and forth a couple of times. The other day I was working on a sewing machine which didn't like to reverse, which was a bit of a challenge. So some things do sort of end up falling apart. So yeah, I would say that if you are being quick and not bothering to do it, you will, your comeuppance will happen later because things will start to unravel. So I'd definitely say a couple of stitches at the beginning and at the end of each thing that you sew.
Perfect. Thank you for that one. We've also got Charlotte Clark on YouTube saying, love the new shipping speed to the US. Got my January 27th order yesterday. I also like that UPS keeps me updated throughout the app. That is so good to hear, Charlotte. Thank you so much for letting us know. Katie Hartley on Facebook saying, I've waited so long to buy these. Just wondering how to hide them from my hubby. That was just going on the build a block system. Perfect that you've got them now. And then Rachel saying, moving house and then having to make room for the baby. One of those times that they got put somewhere. You'll find them when you're not looking for them as to what usually happens, doesn't it? It's usually what happens. It's usually what happens with my stuff anyway. Right, that was the build-a-block system here. We've got something that is 50% off, and you're going to be buying 2 items, and then you're going to get a load of items completely free. This one being the Sewing Room Essential 6-piece tool collection. Now, as I touched upon a moment ago where I said you can actually use this for card making. And you're going to get it all for $54.98 or $69.90. Platinum's going to come down to $43.98 or $55.92. Once again, just jumping back to that today's price, that's where you would be saving that 50% off. So what you're going to get, you're going to be getting this big, sizable mat. So this is your fold-in cutting mat that you can see here. So this one I believe would be A2, yeah, because if that's A3, so A2 in size. That is huge, absolutely huge. I can already feel, apart from the plastic coating that you'd remove, I can feel that it's actually got really good strength and stability. Even although it's a foldable one, you've got that great big ratio of space measurements as well. You've got the degrees. So that's what you're going to be getting. And you're also going to be getting your 60mm rotary cutter. Plus you're going to get replacement blades for it as well. So that's inside there, the replacement blades. This is what you're paying for. So you're paying for your extra large cutting mat and your rotary blade and the trimmer. That's what you're going to be paying for. And for free, you are going to be getting your miter tool. I'm going to ask Becky a couple. Actually, Becky, what would you use a miter tool for?
Right.
I don't know what that is, but
That was me thinking. I was just looking for something that has a mitered corner on it. Not that one.
Not that
this one here, because this one I know I did a mitered corner on it. A miter tool allows you, or shows you, enables you to make a nice sort of angle at the corner. And now this is a right angle, so the right angle is generally quite easy, but that has multiple different angles on it.
Okay.
So you could do something with a star. You can do an inverted angle as well. So if you had a star or a triangle and then you wanted to have like a mitered corner down at this point here, this inverted point, you can do that as well.
Right.
So you've got lots of different points, lots of different angles on that tool. Now, if you do want to have a look at how that's used in situ, we do have videos on the website so you can see exactly how to make it. But it's a really clever piece of kit. And unfortunately, I did take it out of my bag yesterday when I was tidying up. Otherwise, I could show you. But it is quite clever.
Yeah.
I will try and, I think I've got a few samples over in the warehouse, so I'll go and get some of those later on so I can show you, the different angles and how it works.
perfect. Maybe then within
Very
softer
useful.
side, yeah. That you're going to be getting for free. Completely free you're going to be getting. Then you're going to be getting a 6 by 24 inch folding ruler. I'm presuming it is as exactly as it says on the title, Becky?
Yeah, and actually this is really, really useful because it folds up and so it fits into your craft bag. So this is just in my normal, or in my little caddy that I've got, and that just folds up and slots in
perfect.
here. And it's great for taking away with you because you can imagine having something this long, which is the size of your normal kind of quilting ruler, is quite cumbersome.
It is.
You've got to have a big bag to put it in, it falls on the floor, it breaks, you get nicks in the side and you don't want that. So it's really, really useful. And the great thing about it is it's got measurements on either side. So one side it goes up in numbers and one side it's descending numbers.
Yeah, that's good.
So depending on which way you're using it, it's quite handy. So definitely well worth having.
And guess how much that is? Free. If you're going for this sewing room bundle, that's free. You're going to get your 51-piece magnetic pin dish and pins. So that one there is exactly also as it says. You've got your dish, which is magnetic, and you're going to get 50 of the pins as well.
Yep, really useful. When I'm using this, I have this pin dish just below my sewing machine, just next to my sewing machine. And as I stitch, I take out the needle, the pins, and I just flick them. And they just, because it's magnetic, they just attach.
Oh, that's good.
And very occasionally they might fall on the floor, but generally speaking, it's strong enough. As you're flicking down, they just get attached to the magnetic dish, so worth having.
That's so clever. So that's your 51 piece. You've got 50 of the pins, and then your additional pieces, of course, the actual magnetic tray. And then last but by no means least as well, also for free, you're going to be getting your clips. Kind of like your little purple bulldog clips, which for me, showing what you were doing within that last demonstration, are just handy to clip maybe fabric together.
Yeah, or your belts,
Your belt.
I've just got one on my belt today because they're quite useful. Just one to keep my
Is
belt
that like
there.
a fashion thing?
And sometimes to hold my mic back. But also,
that's
if you're
good.
going to be doing, even when I'm doing papercraft, I've got lots of little bits and pieces for papercraft. I will attach them to the little bag that I'm working with, so I've got all my bits and pieces together.
That's good, yeah.
So it makes it nice and easy.
Or
But
boxes and box lids, holding them just to grab.
they're really useful for bag making. And if you're going to be using something like faux leather or faux like PVC, something you don't want to pin mark in, they're really useful. But because they're quite big, they're quite wide, when you're using lots of thick wadding and when you're making bags and you're attaching like really thick fabric together, they're excellent and definitely worth having.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thanks for that, Becky. Now, within these 4 things that you're getting for free, key items that you will be using day in, day out, whether it is sewing or, of course, you're crafting. So those 4 items for free. So very, very quickly, what you are paying for is your rotary cutter and your large foldable cutting mat. So that's what it is you're going to be paying for. You've got your replacement blades in the actual box itself. And then for free, you are going to be getting your pins and magnetic trays. You're going to be getting your clips. You're also going to be getting your folding ruler, which is 6 by 24 inches, and then your miter tool as well. What a great deal when it comes to that sewing room essentials. 6-piece tool collection. You're buying 2 items, you're getting 4 for free, $54.98 or $69.90, but platinum comes down to £43.98 or $55.92 for that set. Really good one. And then what we have got here is our orange peel shape cutter and our Dresden plate cutter when it comes to this one here. So both of these ones that you have got, is it both of that? Just one? $9.99 each. So we've got the Dresden, am I saying that right?
Dresden.
Dresden. Dresden.
Dresden.
Dresden. Dresden. You've got your plate shape cutter here featuring a 2-in-1 design, $9.99, $12.47. That's at half price. Platinum, even better, at $7.99 or $9.98 for that one there. So that's your 2-in-1, your Dresden actual shape cutter, $9.99 or I was trying to get the name. I was like, did I say it right?
Isn't Dresden it's a place in Germany, isn't it, where they used to do a lot of china?
Did it?
Lots of ceramics, yeah.
Ah.
So you get lots of Dresden china, I think. Yeah, is that right?
Dresden china ceramics done in Germany.
Yeah.
Oh, you learn something new. $9.99 or $12
What kind of dollies?
Kind of dollies. Well, no more on that one. $9.99 or $12.47. That's at your half price. But platinum, $7.99 or $9.98. Then we're going to be having a look at the orange peel. This one I can say, and I know exactly what this one is, your orange peel shape cutter featuring your 2-in-1 design. Also $9.99 or $12.47 at half price. $7.99 platinum or $9.98 for you guys stateside. Yes, it is 2-in-1, but I know maybe both of that. This one is slightly smaller than that one, but from the actual lines that you've got within these ones, Becky, they seem to be able to do quite a few things.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got a few samples here. So this is your Dresden pattern. So you've got lots of different sizes in that little template that you've got, but you can make a really pretty design here. So that's using it in a more sort of a kind of traditional way. And then here we've used it in a more contemporary way, which looks really, really cool. So using all those different sizes of those Dresden things, but I think that looks excellent. You know, it looks, Dresden designs are really quite traditional, but doing something like that makes it look really, really cool.
What it reminds me
very
of?
Easy. What?
Like the Chinese dragon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's got that feel to it.
Yeah. Did you do anything for Chinese New Year? Did you celebrate Chinese New Year?
Has that been?
Yeah. Not then. Yeah. It was,
when was it?
A couple of weeks ago.
Was it?
Yeah. Good opportunity. Good reason to just have Chinese food, I think, generally speaking.
But is that why my Chinese was closed down that night?
I would have thought it'd be open. I would have thought they'd be open. Maybe not. Maybe they decided they were going to celebrate with family. This is your...
Oh, wow.
This is the orange peel one. Look how beautiful that is. And that one really quick and easy to achieve because you're going to be using this particular sort of template in order to cut them out. And it just looks beautiful. So these have just been appliqued on. And I think it's absolutely stunning. I really love this design. Quite easy to do. Right, so I'm going to show you how to use this. I'm going to use the orange peel one. This is what it looks like when you get it. Obviously, it's not going to be the bashed up packaging like mine is. And it will show you the different sizes that you can make. So what you have here is a piece of very thick acrylic with grooves in it. And the grooves are for you to put your rotary cutter through. Now, for this one, you want to use the smallest rotary cutter you have. So if you get the large one that we've got on in that that tool thing, this is a little bit too big, I would say. That's a tool thing. You know what I mean? This is a little bit too big because you've got it'll be fine for sort of the bigger curves around here, but when you get to the smaller curves, it can be a little bit more tricky because you've got obviously a larger curve on it. So I'd use the smallest one you happen to have. If you've got a really tiny one, then that's really useful. But I mean, I'm going to use this size one, and it's fine. Now you're going to get some fabric. Now I have roughly cut this fabric. Obviously, I often get people saying, "Oh, you're wasting fabric." I don't mean to waste fabric. I just do it. I do it for quickness, to make everything nice and quick. So what I want to do is I just want to trim this edge so it's nice and straight. So I'm going to use the folding ruler.
Oh, that's
And
freebie
I'm just
that you've
going
got.
to line it up against my board, and then I will use my rotary cutter and then just trim that edge off so that's nice and sharp. And then, you know, this just folds away, and it's really useful. I can't tell you how often I use that. Now, there's two different ways of using this particular design. So what we can do is we can make a whole orange peel, a whole piece, or we could just do half that we want to sew together, so we want to have two different colours. And the way of doing that is by using different placement lines and different pieces of fabric. So what we can do is we can use a single piece of fabric, so this is your raw edge here, and I could line that up against here. I'm using that dotted line. Now, if you're unsure, there are information on the back, so it shows you how to do things. So if you want to cut it in half, or you just want to do one half, or if you want to do a double-sided piece, it's up to you what you want to do. You just need to put it in different placement lines. So what I'm going to do is, this dotted line is the one I'm going to line up with that raw edge of my fabric here. And I'm going to cut, I'm going to do the 5.5 size. So when you put your rotary cutter in here, it starts before you're actually going to be cutting into the fabric. So you want to just gently, keeping everything in place, go around like that. And then that will cut that 1/2. So you could do another half, and you can stitch them together and have two different colours. Right. Or you might just want to use that 1/2 piece. Alternatively, if you want a full piece, you want to fold it over. So you've got a fold line. And then you want to put it on this black line, that solid black line. The reason for this is a 1/4 inch here, this mark between the dash line and the solid line and the dash line. And that allows you to then stitch that together with your 1/4 inch seam allowance, but your petals to be the same size. Now, all I would say is if you're doing something like this, I would normally use a smaller cutting mat on the top of my large cutting mat so I can spin it around, so I can rotate it. So I'm doing this, I'd be moving my fabric if I was doing this the way at home with a rotating cutting board.
Two cuts you've just done there, plus when you cut off that edge, you were cutting away from you. Yeah. Is that a good thing to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that normally I would turn this like this over here, and then I would fold it there and I would cut it going up this way. I'm doing everything a little bit cack-handed today, unfortunately. But you can see here that that is a beautiful petal, and that's perfect. Now, if I wanted to put that piece over the top of here, so this is one that we cut with that, no, it was the wrong size. But you know what I mean. If this one was the one that I cut earlier on, it goes over that point here, that halfway point, because it's a 1/4 inch bigger, so we just need to cut another one. So that's all you do, you just cut these. So what I want to do, I want to cut one more of those, and then I'm going to stitch them together, and I'm going to create an actual proper petal, or a proper leaf, as it were, that I'm going to possibly use later on today.
You're going to use that as a mask, so you can just see through that aperture.
You could do, I mean, you could make it into, you know, some kind of outfit, if that's what you wanted to do. You could potentially cut all those little pieces out and then have another fabric in between.
That could be, not for a guy, but I'm just thinking.
What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking, this is going to be more for a girl.
Yeah.
Or some guys. Whereas that could be the start of a dress, you know, where it just round the neck.
Like
and
a shift dress,
what can I say live in the morning? The bust area is just showing round the neck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
I think I'm looking forward to what you come up with later on in the shows. I don't think you can say that. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to
grow up, Johnny. Grow up.
I'm going to cut a couple more. So I'm going to do 5.5.
Oh, you're going to ruin my outfit now.
There you go.
Oh, or is that going to be an aperture for each of them?
I've ruined your outfit. Yeah, I mean, you could make quite a pretty kind of leaf design if that's what you wanted to do. I don't know. Oh dear. This is why they don't have me and Craig working together very often. Oh dear. Right. I'm just making sure I'm cutting the right size. Oh dear, Craig. What are we going to do with you, eh? 5 and a half. I can do another one here. Right.
Okay, so you're going on that solid line again?
Yeah,
'Cause
going
you've
on that solid
done it in
line.
half. Okay.
Just going to do it like...
Does this
I haven't
one
cut
going to
that
be even
one quite
further
well.
down?
So I'm laughing too much. Sorry, what did you say?
This one going to be even further down?
Yeah, it is, Craig. Honestly, it's. I mean, there's all sorts of things you could do with that, really. And in fact, actually, you could.
So you got one for the neck. That bottom one there's for the belly button.
Yeah.
Like if you turn it around, there you go.
Yeah. All sorts of things you do. Honestly, it's like working with children. Right,
You
two
love
pieces here that we've got here. we could be using these just as applique
That
like
looks
that,
better.
if we wanted to do something like that. We could be stitching these together like this and then folding them around the other way and making it almost like a 3D kind of leaf. There's lots and lots of options of things that you can do with these. You can use them for decorating bits and pieces that you've got. I'm going to do something a little bit later on. I'm going to make a kind of flower that I'm going to be using on one of the projects for Softer Side of Life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There we go. I look forward to that one. There you go. That is how you're going to be using that orange peel shape cutter. You might want to use it in whichever way that you so wish. That is your 2-in-1 design. Good luck, Jan, for coming up next, that's for sure. $9.99 or $12.47. That is at half price. However, if you are platinum, it's going to come down to $7.99 or $9.98. We have got Annie Caggle on YouTube saying, I started buying CC products through Zulily, and then I looked for them on the CC website, went platinum and first order. Wow, indeed.
That's impressive.
It is. Colleen Cowell is saying, my craft room right now is called My Room from Hell. Oh, I don't want it to be called that. I want it to be fun and creative, but slowly getting it organised to be my creative room again. I painted the room lavender and put up light grey design curtains. Now I'm going to get it organised. I eventually brought the paint out the cupboard to do the bathroom at the weekend, so we're getting closer. We're getting closer. We've got Zoe Carver saying, came across CC by buying a die on a CC eBay shop. When it arrived, there was a voucher for the web details and info. You got me hooked. And Jenny Briggs saying, I bought the sewing room essentials as I've been waiting on a bigger cutting mat and the ruler. That's too good to miss. Absolutely is. Remember, it works out that you're buying two, the rotary cutter and the large crafting mat, and you're going to get the other 4 items completely free. We've got Suzanne is saying she's very tempted with that essential bundle. A lot of you are quite tempted with it today. Rosalind saying, I caved and I bought the bundle. Michelle Parsons on YouTube saying the orange peel cutter would be great for cutting out hills and valleys for a scene. It would be.
Nice idea.
Suzanne is also asking, would the orange peel make a ball?
No, it wouldn't.
No.
It would make a ball-shaped, some kind of spherical thing, but it would be almost more like a rugby ball. It's not quite the right dimensions to create an actual ball itself. They need to be quite squat.
Right.
Not quite. But you could make something still quite pretty.
You could?
Yeah.
Yeah, you really, really could do maybe your own dress or top. Christy Mahoney saying, Craig, you're making Becky blush. And Rachel saying, there's loads of you just sending in laughing emojis on that one there. Right, as we say goodbye to Becky for now, she's going to be back for a full 2 hours, aren't you? 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Don't make me laugh as much as this because, all my makeup will run. Mm-hmm. No one wants to see that.
No. Well, there's a few things that you can guarantee in life, and one of them is, I'll probably make you laugh, so apologies for that one. However, we're now going to be having a look at paper crafts with Jan, so we're going to give you the opportunity to check out your baskets. This is going to be having a look at mixed media. That is going to be ahead of the masterclass later on at the day, but while we give you that opportunity to just get the kettle on or check out your baskets, have a look at this.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben, you didn't.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. We see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. Love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
Here we go. Getting to know a little bit about us. We've got Susan is saying, wow, the best morning. Becky and Jan couldn't get any better. I completely agree for sure. Moira, maybe that's something that I could start to design in the future. I'm not going to say if I'm going to do that anytime soon, but it's certainly an option, designing tops such as those.
Laird's label.
What was that?
The designer clothing range, Laird's label.
Laird's label. Here, that's a good one. Yeah, Laird's label.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might keep that one in the back of my mind. I might get some tips from Becky later on when it comes to sewing. Well, I definitely will do. Learned quite a bit within that first hour, so we're going to learn quite a bit within the 2 hours of Softer Side of Life. However, this is now all about mixed media. This is giving you a little bit of a preview as to the masterclass that we've got coming up later on at the end of the day, which is 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and we have got a showstopper deal. So before we go over that, let's say hi to Jan, because we've got you now for the next hour ahead of that masterclass.
We have. How do I follow that?
Oh, you can.
Honestly, how do I follow that? They set me up, you know. I'm just saying to the guys in my ear and to Craig that I've not remembered my apron today, so I'm going to have to be very careful because the first demo is using one of the spray misters, so I could end up a very pretty shade of red. Yes. He's gone again now. What did I say now?
Not you, it's him.
Oh.
You're saying Becky will make you an apron.
The mind boggles.
Him, as in Johnny. If you didn't see the first hour, we've got Johnny and we've got
honestly.
Charlotte in the gallery all day today. So Johnny is in Friday mood today. Yeah, it's been a busy week for Johnny. Yeah, that very, very, very busy cartload, Ben's cartload. You're still going to find some items across there on our website. There's also some craft kits, 2 for 20. Wow. If you are platinum, that's going to come down to 2 for 16. £8 a craft kit. Go and find them, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com/au. So have a look on there because there's still a few things remaining. We do have Rachel still on the social. Any comments, anything you want to ask Jan within this hour, we will do. And we'll also then ask Jan any questions later on within Masterclass as well. But this is the Mixed Media Showstopper 10-piece deal. Now you're going to get everything that I've got in front of me, £40 or $60. But if you're platinum, it's going to come down to £32 or $48. Now you're going to get your 9x12. This is your 300 GSM card pad. Now within this one here, it's your premium card pad that we can see, perfect for doing all your watercolor techniques. We can see that from, of course, the actual images on the card pad, but you've got 20 sheets of these, 9x12, 300 GSM. You're also going to get a 4-pack of your Spectrum Noir water spritzers. Now you don't just have to use water, you can be using many different mediums inside them if you want. You're also going to be getting your round blending tool with your 2 foam heads as well. So that's your 3-piece in total. That's going to come included. Maybe you find it easier to be using the little egg-shaped blending tools, or maybe you like to use them in conjunction with these. You can do that. Maybe you just cannot quite grasp the use of blending tools. This is maybe a really good thing for you to try, but these ones come included. We are then going to be going on to our colour and mediums. So you're going to be getting that full pack of your Tri-Colour Aqua. This one being the Floral Meadow. So you have got your 3 pens, but of course you've got your 9 colours really, because you've got 3 colours within each pen. You've also got your Spectrum Noir acrylic paints. Now this one here being your paint pens, these ones is your jewel. So you've got that pink, you've got that orange, you've got more of that navy and that deep purple. That one's included as well. You're also going to be getting your silver Pebeo Gilding Wax. So that's a full tub, 30 mils. That is completely full of your silver Gilding Wax. We'll go through that later on in the show as well as the masterclass. We've then got Citrus Lime. So this is your Cosmic Shimmer Pigment Stain. So that one being your Citrus Lime there that you've got. You're also going to be getting your Pearlescent Cosmic Shimmer Watercolour Ink. Now this one is Cerulean Blue. Got it. If you've seen myself and Jan a couple of weeks ago, you'll know what I mean by that. And then you've also got your Spectrum Noir. This is your refill ink, TB9. So that is your TB9. So yes, you could be refilling your classic pen that is TB9, or you can be using it in a way to create backgrounds and techniques using that one. You've got your little pipette also included within the top. All of that, £40 or $60. If you are platinum, it's going to come down to £32 or $48. Lovely selection of different colour mediums when it comes to, of course, the stains or your alcohol inks. You've got your acrylic paints, you've got your water base as well. You've got your tools included as well as your cardstock. Such a great price. That price at £40, $60 to me is exceptional for all of that. You're saving $27.16 or $42.28. If you are platinum, even better though at £32 or $48. Maybe you like the idea of your refill inks, maybe you want to get your hands on some more, not with the intention to refill your pens, but to do some alcohol-based backgrounds, then we've got a couple of things for you. We've got a re-inker, so this is your 10-pack. This is giving you 30 mils in each of these bottles. Each of them all come on with their own pipettes. Not many of these ones are remaining. This one is £40 or $50. Platinum price is £32 or $40. So once these have gone, they're going to have been gone for a wee while until we get a new shipment of them back in. But this one is your re-inkers 10 pack. If you want to have all the colours, then check out the website, or later on within Masterclass, if we've got a little bit of time, I'll read them through. But all the colours are there across on the website. What about a 5-pack of our Gilded Wax? So this one is your Gilded Wax 5-pack collection. 30 mils in each of these ones. $47.96. You've got $67.96. But if you are platinum, all 5 of them are going to come down to $38.37 or $54.37. Just to say as well, that's the same silver that you will get in that mixed media collection that we showed you at the start. So just keep that one in mind. But what a great set to have when it comes to your Gilded Waxes. Then we're going to have a look at our tricolour marker collection. Now this is your 3-in-1 water-based pens. So you're going to get your 12 of them in total. So you've got your 3, your 3, your 3 and your 3. $27.50 or $41.50. If you're platinum, that's going to come down to £22 or $33.20. Just to say as well, within that one there, you are going to get your Floral Meadow, which is the one that you are getting within that mixed media starter kit. So just to keep that one in mind, but £22 platinum or $33.20 platinum. We've got some airless misters from Cosmic Shimmer. This one is Pacific Point, 50 mil in these ones here, £5.50 or $8.25. These are on a 3 for 2, but if you're platinum, it's going to come down to £4.40 or $6.60. All Cosmic Shimmer items are 3 for 2. And then we've got another one. This one here, Flirty Pink. Airless Mister, Flirty Pink, 50 mils, £5.50, $8.25, also 3 for 2, as we say, all Cosmic Shimmer items, $4.40 or $6.60 for you guys stateside. Also, with the airless misters, we've got our Poppy Parade 50 mil as well. £5.50 or $8.25, also for a 3 for 2, but platinum is $4.40 or $6.60 for your Poppy Parade. And I believe as well, the 3 for 2, it's on a selection of the different Cosmic Shimmer items. You can mix and match them. As long as they're Cosmic Shimmer, you can mix and match. So you might want to go for an airless mister and then one of the pigment stains and etc, etc. So as long as they're Cosmic Shimmer in the 3 for 2, you can mix and match them. So a nice way to stock up, or even just get started if you are want to dabble in that mixed media. Mixed media, it's not one to be afraid of, Jan, is it? The word mixed media.
No, it's one of those that's got a little bit of a stigma attached to it, because people think you've got to be an advanced crafter to do mixed media, and that's why we want to bring it back to basics. So what we've done with the show today, for those of you, Craig's just mentioned that we were both here about 3 weeks ago, I think, mid-January, and we did a mixed media masterclass during that period. And what we've done today is we've brought very similar products back. I think there may be an odd few different colours in there if we'd had sellouts in between, on the basis that those of you that decided to buy last month, we're going to continue with the demos to give you, and what I've tried to do today is some different ideas with the same products. And obviously if you're just joining us today, then that range of products may be new to you anyway, but it's starting to add different colouring mediums to your paper crafting world. So the minute you start with a piece of cardstock and then, for example, a spray mister or a stain or an ink or a gilding wax, you are technically mixing those mediums. And that is mixed media in its simplest form. And that's what we like to concentrate on, rather than doing all the big stuff that you often see, big canvases and things like that, which I've done in my past. But that is quite daunting if you're just starting your crafting journey. You know, there's a process there. So what we thought we'd do today is just bring it back to that basic level of mixed media and show you a little bit more what you can do with those products that you may have already purchased, or if you're interested in looking for those today. And we're actually going to start with those airless misters from Cosmic Shimmer. Awesome. So the very last one that we popped up there on the screen was Poppy Parade, and that's exactly what we're going to do. It is the most amazing proper what I call a true red.
Okay.
You can get like pinky reds, you can get corally reds, you can get those deep cherry reds, but this is what I call like a postbox, letterbox red.
Brilliant.
Proper red, absolutely
It's
beautiful.
not easy to come by, is it?
No, as I say, there's so many variations within colours, you know, and sometimes you buy a red and you think, well, that's not exactly what I was looking for, but this, trust me, is a proper, what I call a proper red. Now, the Airless Mystery is a cosmic shimmer product, which is one of our third-party partners there, made by Creative Expressions. And the airless bit for it means that you can spray this pretty much from any angle, from any distance, and it doesn't clog the nozzle. There's no air in the actual system, and that's often where the nozzles get clogged. I've had spray misters in the past, and I've got so frustrated with them because after every use I've had to dismantle it, I've had to wash the nozzle out, and in the end you just think it's not worth the trouble. These are absolutely amazing. I've had my set now for well over probably 2 years, I think now, since these were first launched, and these are the same ones. They go a very long way, and I've never ever had one of them clog. Never ever. It's simply a case of just pressing. When I've taken the cap off here, we're just going to press the top. You'll see the coverage. And what we're going to do is first of all, we're going to use this to cover our plain white cardstock.
Okay.
Then we're going to do other things to it. I'm going to bring in one of the products that we've got on the show later, is those beautiful textured embossing folders. Now, when we launched we launched very similar to these in a 3D aspect several years ago, and this particular one, the studded leather, this was while I was working in the store, and it absolutely flew out the door. We couldn't get it back in stock, and it just ended up disappearing out of our sort of, you know, bank of products. So we've actually brought them now in a 2D range, which again, you've got that sort of partnership working there. For those of you not familiar with the embossing folders, the 2D is what's more or less a standard embossing folder, and when we pop that through, you're just going to get a raised image that pretty much all comes to the same height. With a 3D folder, you're getting that sculpting, so it's beautiful for things that have got things like flowers, leaves, petals, that kind of thing, where it actually sculpts it. So 2D on the range. So we're going to use these two in conjunction with each other.
Okay.
The first thing that I'm going to do is bring my scruffy old box in here, which is what I use to spray. Now, this is just a well-loved old box lid. Got some kitchen paper inside.
Good brand, good brand.
Pardon?
Good brand
Good
as well.
brand.
Does the job really well.
And I've just got some smooth cardstock for this one. You can use your watercolour card for this. I actually wanted the smooth surface for this. Pop this inside. You don't need to shake these. There's no extra product in this. It is just a water-based ink. So there's no, when you see me actually activating the bottles that have got the little mixing bowl in, it's usually because there's either glitter or mica or something in there, and I'll show you what I mean with that later with the pearlescent inks in the show later on this evening. But these are just water-based ink, so there's no need to shake them. We're going to take the top off. I'm going to stand back a little bit because I don't want to end up wearing the red, and literally I'm about 6 inches away from the box above it here, so about this kind of distance, yep. And I'm literally just going to spray. Now, if you press this down fully, you're going to get that lovely mist. If you just press it a little bit, you're going to get droplets. So you've got a bit of control. So if I go, you can see here where we're getting that spray. If I just drop a little, can you see the bigger drops coming in there? There we go. That's just literally taking it that little bit. Now, it may pay to have a bigger piece of card in here because you can see that my kitchen paper's getting the red as well. But just for the purpose of the demo, I just want to pop it in. Now, what I'm also going to do, because this is a water-based product, I actually want this to cover the card. So I've got my spray bottle that's just got ordinary tap water in, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that. And can you see how it's sort of going to move this round to give you that coverage? All right, and then I'm bringing in my heat tool because when I'm happy with this, I want to literally start drying this off. So again, we can just pop this and hold it down. Let me just find a weapon. There we go. Just to hold it down. The minute you add water to card, you will get that buckling on it, so don't worry about that. Once we've heated it, we can actually sort that out.
Okay.
But again, you can see, and if there's any areas that you want a little bit more of the colour, you can just see how this is giving you that coverage there. As I say, because it's water-based, you can extend that colour until we've got the whole of the card.
And you know, and I'll hold my hand up, Jan, I've not used these loads, but with these, it's kind of alien in the fact of you want to shake them, don't you? We're
it's a natural thing.
Shake.
Yeah, we're so used to shaking a product that's in a bottle, yeah.
To not have to do that.
No. So again, I just want to dry off where I've got sort of excess water there, because to pop this through the embossing folder, it doesn't have to be bone dry. It can still be slightly damp when you pop it through an embossing folder. You get a real nice crisp emboss. But there are areas where it is a little bit wet there. I've just got some spare kitchen paper underneath here. And I'm just going to blot a couple of those areas that are really wet. Okay.
I see what you mean about that true poppy.
It really is, honestly. The one that I've got prepared, you can see I've probably got a bit more ink. But I love how, because you've got that water base, you've got all these lovely watermarks in it. And it's almost, you can buy card that looks like this. I've got some packs at home in different colours, and I paid a fortune for it, just for pieces of A4 cardstock. But you can see how you get that lovely watermark in it, and then obviously just manipulate your card back into its shape. But all that lovely marking where the water's worked with it, you can see still some of the spray areas. You know, I don't mind that there's little bits that are still showing the white in there. And then obviously, because it's a water-based ink, it reacts very similar to what our water reactive inks do. Anything that's got a water base, if I pop a little bit of extra water out on my mat now, and I've got that little fan brush again, but any paintbrush will do this. If we actually splatter the water on it, it's going to start moving that ink again. So you're going to get those lovely little sort of water splats on there as well, which just enhance. You can see here in this area where it's starting to move. I'll bring it a little bit closer to the camera in a second. And again, you can leave that as long as you want to let it work. The longer you leave it, the better the reaction you're going to get. But you can just see here now where it's starting to push that ink around and make those lovely little watermarks. Now you'll see it better, because what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a clean piece of kitchen paper, and just like we've done when we've done the inks, is if you blot it, it will actually lift that ink, and you can see there then where it's actually lifted that ink out. So again, you can play with this to your heart's content until you get what you're looking for. I think I'm going to use mine that way up with this slightly darker section at the bottom. And then what I did, these work beautifully with our own range. So if you think about our inks, whether it's your water reactive, you know that my preference is my opaque inks. So this is our Harmony Opaque Pigment ink in the Chinese red. And I'm just going to use that one to literally go around the edge and just define that edge, and it just brings everything in together then. It takes away that white edge from the card, and you know, it tones in perfectly. So you can mix and match, you know, those third-party products with the ones we've got.
Well, they do.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it through the embossing folder. So we've got our studded leather there. In general, the coloured side of these is the top. So your colour wants to be facing up to that coloured side. So you've got the logo on the reverse. Let me just double check that. Have I said that right? Yes. Yeah, if you're not sure, just check which bit's raised and which bit's recessed. That's the bit, yeah. So this is going to go in beside here. I cut this to size for the actual folder. This is going to pop in here. And then I've actually got, have I got my small plates to hand?
Just to say, when it comes to these embossing folders, we've only got like 3 left, and they're only available individually across on our website. They have been that busy. Just to say though, that you've got the 3, I was just checking the 3 that you've got. Well, we'll be having a look at them just shortly. You've got the leaves, you've got the waves, and you've also got the leopard print as well, but we'll have a look just shortly, but they're only available individually.
So I've just temporarily misplaced my smaller plates, because obviously this would go through the Gemini, but the Gemini Junior plates.
Oh, yeah.
But I've just popped it between my 2 clear large Gemini plates, does exactly the same job. We just take that a little bit longer to pass those through, but that's going to allow that embossing folder to do the trick. Now, I did add another step to this at home, but then realised that I hadn't brought the die with me to do it here, but I will talk you through what I've done. But you can see now when we open this, you've got that beautiful design now. And if we just bring this up to the camera now, you can just see that embossed design over the top there. And if I flip it over, you'll be able to pick it up even better where you've got that sort of the deboss side of it. So again, you might want that side as your raised side, in which case just pop your cardstock in the other way. This one, it's actually as if it's pressed those little studs in, and that's what the leather, the studded leather's all about. You've got those nice little squishy areas on the leather, and then it's punctuated by those little, they're usually little studs or beads inside it. Now then, I added an extra layer to mine at home. What I wanted to do was have an aperture in mine. So before you emboss, if you're going to cut an aperture in, you need to do the die cutting first. So what I did with mine at home was actually cut into this and actually cut a heart aperture. And I did that and then passed it through the embossing folder. Otherwise, if I was to cut the heart out now and pass it through the machine again, it's going to flatten all the embossing. It's going to squidge it and flatten it. So aperture first, and then I pop that one into the embossing folder. So you can see there's just, I've gone a little bit heavier with the ink here. That I was talking about it being a true sort of letterbox, postbox red. So we're going to use this one. And what I've done, first of all, I was going to accentuate all the little areas with the little beads, the pearls. But I thought actually it's nice just to create that frame, just the framework around the heart there. So that's what we've done. And then I'm going to use that basically to create my card. So I've got a few mats and layers. Let me just pop those to one side.
What was the card that you used to ink onto, Jan?
It was actually our multi-purpose cardstock, but you could easily use the watercolour card as well, yeah. So I've literally popped, again, when you put the black behind it, it just makes, if I was to pop this one straight onto the card, it looks fine. It's absolutely, you know, if that's where you're heading with it. But I just think to bring the black behind it actually just makes it stand out that bit more. And we're also going to embellish with some of the black as well. Now what I've done is I've popped a piece of white behind because I want an area here where my sentiment's going to stand out. Whereas if I popped it straight onto the black, I'd need a different colour. Now, again, looks really effective, very dramatic with the black in there, but I've got a black sentiment. So I've just cut a piece of white, slightly smaller than the embossing folder, and we're actually going to pop all these together. So just very quickly, we'll get those layers stuck together, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do to finish it off.
It looks so, so smart. It just looks so fine and elegant with that bit of black around the edges to it.
I love the black card for that. You know, don't be afraid to use black. We said this, I think, last time I was here with the mixed media. It is an excellent frame to just set things off. So this one, I'm just going to pop in. You know, you may not want to have used a piece this big. You could just use a piece that fits behind the aperture.
Just behind the heart, right.
But it was just keeping that support mechanism behind it. So I've just cut this one a wee bit smaller than the red piece so that we can actually put this one and it will cover completely. Now again, you could pop this up on some foam tape if you wanted to raise that top layer.
Okay.
I've just kept it flat for demo purposes today, and I'm using my double-sided tape pen there just to get some adhesive, and then we're going to pop this one and I'm going to line it up with the black just so that I've got that nice little outline. The white layer's not actually going to show around the edge there. Okay. And of course, you know, it's red. It's got a heart on. It's February. You know where I'm heading, Craig.
Oh, I do indeed.
Yep, it's got to be. You know, we're getting ready for Valentine's Day, aren't we? So this was a perfect chance to sort of showcase that. So I had a rummage through my my stuff at home, and I'd actually got some little die cuts. These have been out a while. That way around. I've got With Love, Valentine. Okay, so I'm just going to take my tacky glue now and I'm going to pop these on. And what I've done is I've cut these, you know, I'm always talking about my sexy black Centura pearl.
Yes.
Little scraps of those that I've kept. I've cut the wording out and then I've cut them out in foam as well. So I've actually got a little bit of dimension on these so that they stand off of the card a wee bit. Perfect. So the foam that I use is just the cheap, they refer to it as funky foam in the craft stores. You've seen this. Yeah, I usually buy it in white and black. I don't very often buy the coloured layers, but I've usually got a stash of white and black, and it just gives you that dimension. If you don't have it and you want to create the dimension, you can just cut your sentiment 2 or 3 times and stack it up that way. Now then, let me just grab my
really
tweezers.
good idea to raise whatever it is that you're.
And we're actually going to have the With Love on the front, like so. So that one, and just popped a few little tiny, it doesn't need a lot of the, this is actually the tacky glue in my little dispenser, so it's great for attaching stuff like this. So we're going to have With Love on the front. And then I've just used the same range of my hearts that I had here. I've just cut a couple of little ones out that are going to go on the front there. So again, I'm just going to pop those on. Because we're going over the inked surface, I do like to use the tacky glue on there. It gives you a good sort of grip on anything, including embellishments and things. So we're going to pop a black one down first.
What I love as well with this style and this layout, Jan, is, okay, yes, you've done the red there, but, you know, you could do, let's say, you know, any of the oranges or the greens and that, go in with an oval, and then it could be like an Easter card.
An oval, you could put a flower die in there, it could be a square aperture, however you want to do it, yeah. Change your colour scheme completely, you're into that masculine range again, you know, there's lots of different ways. And then, of course, we actually had the die cut that came out of the middle that's created my aperture. So I thought, rather than waste that, so that it all coordinates, we're going to put that one inside.
Oh, this is going to be so lovely.
Just to link it together and not waste it. You know, I don't like sort of, especially things that we've created and inked like this. So I'm actually going to pop this one inside the card, like so. And then I'm going to pop the Valentine bit just on the inside here. So again, just a few dabs of that glue, just to anchor that.
Great way to pull the front to the inside. And
I like decorating the inside of my projects as well. I must admit, I quite often do a matching insert, whether it's got a little bit of stamping on it or a little bit of stenciling on it, just to link the outside of the card to the inside. So again, just pop that one in there. And you can see there, we've got that With Love, and then inside our Valentine. So again, if I stand you that one up, that's just using just one of those airless misters. Now, we've got several different colours on the show today. So like Craig said, you know, changing the colour scheme, changing the shape of the aperture, and you could make it fit pretty much any occasion.
You absolutely could.
Yep.
You really, really could. Absolutely beautiful, that card. Just to say as well, well done, Angela, who's checked out all 3 of the remaining embossing folders. Missed out in the first launch, so you've got all 3 of them. So they are on the website. But when it comes to the Mixed Media Showstopper collection, this is your 10-piece deal, £40 or $60. If you're platinum, it's going to come down to £32 or $48. And you're going to get, not only you're going to get your colour in mediums, but you're going to get the tools as well. You're going to get your premium watercolour card. This one here is your 9x12 in size. It's 300 GSM, and you've got 20 sheets. Now, you think if you were to do what Jan's just done there, you know, you're going to be able to do and use this one for quite a wee while, 20 sheets, but usually you're going to be using maybe half of that, even a quarter of that at a time. So you've got that one. You're also going to get your 4-pack of your water misters. You can put other items in there. It doesn't necessarily have to be your water. You could be putting any of your little powders that dissolve. They would look quite smart. Let's stick with the tools actually. You've got your circle blending tool, so you've got your blending tool and your 2 foam heads. You're also going to get your mini blending sponges as well. You're then also going to be getting your tricolour aquas. Now this one here, this is your Floral Meadow. So you've got your 3 pens, however it is 9 colours that you're going to be getting in total. All the colours and detail of each of these colour mediums are on the website. We will go through them within the masterclass later on. You've got your acrylic paint pens. These ones is your jewel tones here. You're also going to be getting your silver gilding wax. So you're going to get that full tub, 30 mils of your silver gilding wax. Then from your refill, alcohol refill, you're going to get your TB9. Now, if you've got your TB9 Classic pen, you can refill it with this. However, you can be using it as a way to create your backdrops if you want. Then from Cosmic Shimmer, you've got your pigment stains. So this one here being your citrus lime. So let's turn it around that way. So that one being your citrus lime. Remember, this is what's all included within this mixed media showstopper. And then you're getting your watercolour pearlescent, this one being your cerulean blue. Just got there, just got there. All of that is what you are going to be getting for £40 or $60. Look at that saving of £27, £16 or £42.28. But if you're platinum, it's going to come down to £32 or $48. For $8 that was. What we've then got, we're having a look at is our floral frames. This is your cut and emboss folders here. Now this full set that you're going to be getting for, well, individually, I think these are $12.99 or $14.95 for your beautiful blossom. So let's have a look, see, get the blossom, beautiful blossom. Wait, you see, it'll be right at the end. Be right at the end. Peony blooms and beautiful blossom. There we go. Beautiful blossom, that one there. So that one is it individually, but if you want to go for that full bundle that we've got here, your floral frame cut and emboss folders, 8-pack, $82.99 or $95.49. Platinum comes down to $66.39 or $76.39. That does include that beautiful blossom. Remember, these are your cut and your emboss. These ones being around your 4x6, and then you're also going to get, it's kind of like just shy of 5.5 by 5.5. You'll see these ones coming up in a moment. So all of these, the aperture's cut out with your die cutting machines, and then your square has the same. That aperture, it's a different size or a different shape in each way because you've got that floral that intertwined between the actual die cut piece. Then your fragrant magnolias. And then last but by no means least, striking gerberas. All of that is what you're getting for $82.99 or $95.49. That last demonstration, Suzanne saying, looks fab. Kate was also asking as well, Jan, for heavyweight acetate, or is heavyweight acetate what is used for construction, or is that something different?
I tend to use the heavyweight acetate for construction, but you can use it for pretty much anything. So there are different, it doesn't work in GSM for acetate, it's what we call microns. So the higher the number of microns, the thicker the acetate.
Okay.
So the heavyweight acetate is absolutely great if you're wanting to score and construct and make, you can make like see-through boxes and things like that with it. Now I tend to buy the heavyweight as a standard acetate because you can do everything else with it. You can even heat emboss it as long as you're very, very quick.
Okay.
I would recommend a heat-resistant acetate if you're wanting to do a lot of heat embossing. If you buy the lighter weight acetates, obviously you're restricted with how far you can go with it. So by buying the heavyweight one, you can work backwards. You can put it, sometimes you've seen us where we actually chop the card blank and put acetate in the middle of it. It may be that you want to put acetate behind an aperture to make a shaker card. The heavyweight will do all that. Whereas if you've got different if you've got slightly thinner ones, sometimes they're not strong enough for what you want.
Perfect.
So yeah, I tend to work mainly with the heavyweight one.
Excellent. Hopefully that's helped Kate. Bethan is saying that card is sexy, Jan. Michelle is saying that's a simply lovely card, Jan. Zoe is saying I got the wood embossing folder and it's amazing, and just lots and lots and lots of love for that card that you've just
got to work out who I'm going to send it to now, haven't I?
Well, there you go. There you go.
Be a dead giveaway, won't it?
We're going to have a look at the floral cut and emboss, aren't
we are, yes. I've picked that vibrant rose, which is actually one of the square designs. Absolutely beautiful. And again, we're still on that heart theme. I was very much in sort of like Valentine mode today. I know the guys have got lots planned for next week, haven't you? And I'm actually on holiday next week.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, so I'm not going to be around for the event next week, which I was a little bit disappointed. But would you believe that my little baby, my baby Toby, is 3-year-old next week.
No way.
3 years old. 3? I don't know how on earth that happened. Yes, he's 3 next week. So I've taken some time off because we've got lots of things planned during the week with him for his birthday coming up next Friday. So a week today.
Gosh.
So yes, it's going to be very exciting. But then I realised that they've got a lovely event planned for next week here. And of course, I'm not going to be... So if I'm not around, that's why, guys. It's not that they forgot about me. I'm just actually on holiday,
Yes. I won't say too much. I'll just say we've all got our own day next week.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. And as Jan said, not forgotten about it.
It's maybe a good job I wasn't here, else there wouldn't be enough days, would there?
Oh, no, you would be right in the middle of the week. Right in the middle.
So yeah, I thought I was very much in my Valentine mode. So again, we stayed. I love the fact that this has got that sort of heart suggestion, the aperture behind it there. Now, for those of you again that may be new to the channel or new to us at Crafter's Companion, if you're not au fait with a cut and emboss folder, the last one that we used to create that studded leather effect was just an embossing folder. So this is basically the two pieces of plastic with the design inside. So it's got a raised level and a recessed level.
Okay.
This is the same idea. So you've still got that plastic with the embossed areas in, but there's the added addition of a die, a metal die embedded into here. It's actually part of the folder. So this is actually going to emboss all this beautiful area that's got the colour behind it and then cut out where that metal edge is. So it's like an outline die. Now the white area in the middle is actually foam. So that is there for a reason, because normally if we're die cutting, you can take your die and you can poke out all the little pieces. Well, you can't do that with an embossing folder.
No.
So the reason they pop the foam in there is just to encourage this area to come away, and you'll see that when I die cut it, how easy that happens. So don't be tempted to try and dig this out. It stays in there, it's there for a reason. Now, like Craig says, these are just short of 5.5 inches square. So this time I've gone for some of our Centura Pearl, and this is the baby pink. And I'm still in awe of this as a cardstock. I've got lots of the different colours in the range, but the pearl finish on this is beautiful. It embosses beautifully. And what people are often not aware of, especially if you're just starting out, is that it will take the inks. So we don't often see the ink onto Centura Pearl. We tend to work with the plainer cardstock. So what I wanted to do today was emboss and then bring some of the detail out with the inks. Okay. So again, you want your side that's got the metal die is going to cut down through the cardstock. So I've put my coloured side facing up. Again, I've just cut the card about the right size to fit inside the folder there. It's about 5.25 inches square. And then same as an ordinary embossing folder, this is just going to go in our two clear cutting plates. Whether you're using your large Gemini, whether you're using your junior or this particular size and the 5x7 size will actually go through your Gemini MIDI as well. So again, I'm just going to pass that through, and that's going to press all that lovely embossing into the card, and it's also going to cut out that aperture so that we've got that design to work with.
Yeah, and this will, although you would need to check your plate configuration, this will still go through other die cut machines as well.
Absolutely, yes. So just, it will tell you, it should tell you in your manuals for any other machine, your standard 2D embossing sequence for your mats, yeah. So when we take this out now, we've actually got a piece here, and you can see how easy that middle piece just comes out of the centre.
It does, doesn't it?
And then we've got that lovely area that's been embossed. So pop that to one side, and you can just, I think it absolutely gorgeous on the Centura Pearl. Now you might want to leave it as it is and just keep it nice. These look great if you're doing things like wedding or anniversary cards where you do the white on white. So embossing a piece of maybe the white Centura Pearl with a hint of silver or gold and putting them on a white background and decorating them with the white embellishments looks absolutely stunning. And again, if I turn it over, you can just see that detail there as well where it's debossed into the background. So what we're going to do then is we're going to add some ink to sort of highlight these areas that have been embossed. So I've chosen a couple of inks, and I've gone for my water reactive this time, just purely because there's a bit more depth of colour. Just in the way that the ink pads are made, I find that the opaque ones are a little bit more pastel, whereas the water reactive have got a bit more depth of colour. And obviously working over a colour to start with, I just wanted that extra depth. So I'm going to take my pink tulip, and then I've brought one of my stencil brushes along. I find this probably one of the easiest ways to do this. So it's just a case of loading up the brush. All right, and you can get these on the internet. They're not expensive. There's a lot of different manufacturers make them. And then where we've got the roses here, I'm just going to literally brush over the top. I'm not too worried if it catches the leaves because we're going to go over the leaves afterwards with the green. But again, come from different angles. So that, and what it does, it just captures the edge of the embossing, and you can just, there's a very subtle change in colour. It's not a massive difference unless you were going to use a darker colour ink. I stayed with the pale pink. If you did this with the fuchsia, you'd get a more pronounced effect over the embossing. So again, backwards and forwards, round and round. What you want to do is try and catch the edges of all the embossing.
So it's kind of like a form of doing your dry embossing, your dry brushing, sorry.
Yes.
Like with your mixed media.
Yes, yeah. So again, just taking it round and round so that you basically come in at all those raised areas from different sides. And I don't know whether that's showing on the camera, but I can see where it's just changing the colour slightly now. Okay. And then I've brought topaz, green topaz. And obviously because the leaves are much, much smaller, I've got a little small stencil brush for this one. All right.
Okay.
And again, I'm just going to take some of that green and I'm going to work from the centre of the leaves out towards the edge. And I just want to pop a hint of that green in there wherever the leaves are.
Just that little bit.
Just to suggest that, you know, the roses have got that lovely greenery with it as well. So just a little bit. I'm being very, very gentle with the brush. You can always go over and add a wee bit more after you've done it if you want to, you know, add a bit more depth of colour, but just nice and gentle. And I'm just bringing the bulk of the colour up from the base of the leaves there. So I keep just dabbing off the excess onto my mat so that the brush is not too loaded with ink. And you can see how this starts to frame now.
You can see it coming
what
together.
we did with that pink originally. So I think, oh, there's a little one there. I think that's the majority of them done. And then I'm going to go back to the, I'm not going to re-ink that brush with the pink ink. I'm just going to come back to this one and literally just give it a swipe over to blend it all together now. And you can see there how we've just introduced that colour and highlighted that section there with all that beautiful embossing on. Okay.
Gosh, yeah.
So I've actually popped mine together now to make a panel to go on a card. You can see where I've done that same embossing. And then what I've done is I've actually just popped a piece of white card behind it and then just very, very gently with what was left in my brush, just gave it a little go over because the white was quite a sharp contrast. Chosen a sentiment out of my stash to stamp in there first, and then I've popped it together and I've popped some of that foam on the back again so that we've got a nice covered area at the back just to lift it a little bit. So again, using those to make that focal point. So again, I've just got a 5 3/4 inch card. I've got a matte layer to go on the back there, which I'm going to stick with my double-sided tape.
It's a great way as well to experiment with your colours. That's lovely and subtle and pastel, but as you said, if you want to go with your fuchsia or one of the deeper tones.
Yeah. So, you know, in order, I know some people sort of, I get asked quite a lot about how do you choose colours and how do you, know, sort of decide on colours. And a lot of it is, like you said, Craig, it's just having a play, you know, and if you weren't sure about this, you know, maybe cut 3 different ones and try the 3 different shades of pink and see which one you like, you know, so that you've got something to go with. So literally that's my matte layer, which I've just cut slightly bigger, and then we're going to stick this one onto here. So I'm just going to take that wet glue again, because I find that tacky glue is the word I'm looking for. I was going to say acrylic glue, but I thought that's not right. Tacky glue works better on the back of these pieces. This is that funky foam again that I just cut into pieces that fit the... So I like, when I'm sticking something like this, I like it to be a set background rather than... I know you love your foam pads, Craig, but I prefer that block so that I've got a nice even surface. It's just a different way. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever goes, you know, with your personal experience. So again, I've got that nice and flat all over now. And now I've done it again. I'm just going to pick that up for a second because I've done it. I'm dead eager to get it stuck together. Right.
You were going to wrap something round? I
am going to wrap something round. You know, I do it every time. I'm that eager to get it settled because what I was thinking is I want to bring in a bit more of a mixed media element because, yes, we've used our inks on our cardstock. So technically, at that basic level, we've mixed 2 mediums. And I'm like, what can I add to it? So, for example, if you like making your foam flowers with the flower forming foam, you could maybe add a couple of those on here. You've mixed that medium. Again, you've brought the foam into the cardstock range. It may be that you might have some silver embellishments, you know, some little charms, something like that. You might have some wooden embellishments whenever you're mixing that medium. So I had a rummage through my my stuff and actually came up, I've threaded these onto some wire, but just came up with some little beads that I had. I've got a little pot full of them that I bought years and years and years ago. And there's a menagerie of all different colours and shapes and sizes. So I've just pulled out some of the pink ones. And I thought what we'd do is actually pop this around. I tied it together so that they didn't come off, because to be honest, they were a pain to thread. A clear fishing thread through those beads. I was at it forever. So I'm just going to pop this around here and stick it on the back. And that was supposed to be done before you stuck it down, Jan.
So
every
the
time.
bits that have come off, you know, your dress when you go to the discotheque and they're just falling down. You're having a wee boogie there and you're like, oh, a little bit, my dress has come on. I'm going to use that in a card.
I love that you know that, Craig.
Yeah?
That there's bits come off your dress when you go to the disco, yeah.
I'm telling you, if me and you were in somewhere where there was music and that, and then you go up in the dance floor, I'd be like, I'm going up with Jan.
He's going to collect all the bits that fall off.
Just boogie with you.
Oh, here we go, look. So again, as I say, I want to bring the beads onto that side, and I've left them to go sort of free so that there's a bit of movement on the card. So I'm just going to stick those on the back, and then I'm going to attempt, oops, got two there that's decided to go around the back. I want you round, do you know, round the front.
They're all loving
there
the hints and the tips that you're giving, Jan, the explanations. Don't forget, Jan's back for 2 hours later on in the day, masterclass. It's the last show of the day, 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time or 10 a.m. Pacific Time.
So I'm just, because I'd cut, just guessed at the length of the fishing wire. I've got a little bit surplus there, and I don't want to cut it because that's keeping the beads. So I'm just going to stick that bit in the back there like so. And then we can use that as extra adhesive. And then I'll put my glue back on. Just like. Oh, bless you. I wondered what you were doing then. He was like...
I know you dropped something.
I saw you come round then, and I'm like, where's he off to now?
I thought it was scissors, and I thought
it was my scissors. I just grabbed the big ones. Yeah, thank you. Oh, see, I'm not used to having somebody look after me. So again, we'll just get some more of that because that's actually dried now on there.
Johnny's just saying I've gone over to see if you dropped any beads.
Yeah, it was whether anything had just fell off my my fancy dress that I've got on underneath.
It's at the top that Becky
So again, I'm going to pop that on later.
Yes.
Yes.
You do that, I'll do my foil press shirt.
That's it. So that's better.
Oh, look at that.
And then I had a couple of those little tiny ones left, which I was hoping will go just to balance it out again. I'd got a couple of the little beads left, and I'm hoping that they're going to go just on the top there. I've just got a couple of those little star ones, and I'm just going to pop them to balance it across the top like so. So again, we've got that sort of balance. But I wanted to leave these free so that, you know, you've got that little bit of tactile on there. So it'd be great, you know, if somebody had got sort of impaired vision or anything like that. Just that little bit of movement on it as well. And the raised area with the embossing, it's lovely. So again, just to stand that one up. I haven't decorated the inside of this one, but again, you know, you could stamp another sentiment inside. But just to show you just one idea of many with those embossing, those cut and emboss folders.
Perfect, absolutely beautiful that. Now we'll get set up for a demo of the show. It will be Jan because Becky was just showing kind of the concept of that builder block as well as that shape creator, etc, etc. So as Jan gets herself just set up with the two demos that she's done, we'll have a quick look at the floral frames cut and emboss folder, this one being the 8-piece because you're going to get them all. And as Jan was saying, you are going to get 4 of your square and then you're going to get 4 of your 4x6, your striking gerbera, your fragrant magnolias, you're also getting your vibrant rose, you're also going to get your dancing daffodils, just to say that was the one that Jan just used there a moment ago. Then we're going into our classic winter rose, and although it's winter in the title, does not have to be used only in winter. Timeless Forgets Me Not. Actually, yesterday felt quite like spring because I washed the car and I even done the front garden. I know, couldn't believe that I actually went out and done that.
It's fluctuating so much, isn't it, the temperature at the minute?
Big difference. So I thought, right, I'm taking the opportunity to get out.
It's a case of grab it while you can, isn't it? Because it could be snowing again next week.
It is, exactly. Yeah, well, that was my thought as well. It really, really was. $82.99 or $94.49 for that set. If you are platinum, it comes down to $66.39 or $76.39 for you guys stateside. Right, what have we made within this show, Jan?
Right, so we used those airless misters, those cosmic shimmer misters first up with that lovely Poppy Parade, that red, in conjunction with the textured embossing folders, and made our Valentine's card there. So that was number one. And then the second one, you've just seen me use those lovely cut and emboss folders, and that was the, was it Radiant Vibrant Rose? All right, so we've just added a little bit of ink to it to highlight that embossing, and then we've just got that little bit of 3D element going on. So that was number two.
Excellent. One or two. The choice is yours. Let's have got a couple of minute or so, Rachel, to tally up the votes, and then she'll send them across to us. But what we are going to do is we're going to be having a look at a few essential tools you might want to top up on when it comes to the actual tools. These are core tools. This one being your blending tool and sponge collection. I don't think I've ever seen a collection like this before. This is a really, really good collection. 30 elements, $15.96 or $19.80. That's giving you a saving of 20%. $12.77 or $15.84. On that, it actually works out that you're buying the square blending tool and the circle blending tool, and you're getting the sponges and the refill sponge pads for free. Really good one. If you don't know whether you like the square or the circle, try them both, and then that's you're going to know which one you have a preference of. So 30 elements on that one. Then if you've got your paint tool, this is your actual brushes and your actual little palette as well. You're getting your 3 brushes, 3, 6 and 8 the sizes. And then, as I say, you've got the little palette as well. That one is a 7-piece within that palette there, 6 and then the circle. Yeah, so you've got 7 little sections there. You can do your mixing of colour. $7.16 or $16, saving 10%. However, if you are platinum, that's going to come down to $5.73 or $12.80. Do you know something? Even that alone for just the paintbrushes, which you're going to be using, technique-wise.
And they are good quality.
They're
the ones that we all use as a team, and you don't get, I used to hate it when you buy sort of inexpensive paintbrushes and all the hairs come out while you're using them. I used to hate it, but then I've got several sets of them and use them. You've seen the using them demo, and I'm sure you've seen sort of other members of the team using them. Yeah, brilliant.
Loads and loads. All of us have got loads and loads of them, that's for sure. So that was a really good one for you to either stock up on or get your hands on for the first time. Lots and lots and lots of love again for that card that you just made there. Just a couple. Annie Kaggle on YouTube is saying, love the movement beads, Jan. Really lovely card. Nice little extra touch there at the end with the beads that move.
Yeah, it's just adding, just having a look at what we've all got, what stash, you know, endless stash. And it's just having a look at something different to see what you can use, yeah.
100%, completely agree. Robbie on Facebook saying, love, 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 love that card, Jan. And Rachel is saying, we've got a result.
Ooh, we've got a result. Ooh, now then.
It was close.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd like to try and guess this morning. Both bring something different to the table, don't they?
They do completely. I was torn. I thought if whichever one I thought would win has actually won though, and it is number 1.
Right, the Valentine. Yep, okay. So that's that one with that gorgeous red Mr. ink on it there from Cosmic Shimmer. Absolutely beautiful.
Excellent, thank you so much for that. That's not it though from Jan. You're going to be back for 2 hours with me at the end of the day.
Yes, I've got a few bits and pieces to sort out in the middle, and then I will be back at 6 o'clock with lots more techniques. So again, recapping some of the ones that you saw us do last month. So I've got some more shaving foam, but I'm going to do something different with it today. We've got the alcohol reinkers, which I did last time, but got something different for you today. So yeah, similar products, slightly different uses. So that was my sort of challenge today for you with demos. So I will be back at 6 p.m. here in the UK. And I'll see you then.
Brilliant, thank you for that, Jan. 1 p.m. Eastern Time or 10 a.m. Pacific for you guys stateside. But in the middle, we've got Becky coming up. If you are watching live, she'll be coming up with myself in an hour. It's Friday, softer side of life. Now that's going to be 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time or 6 a.m. Pacific Time. Anything that you've seen within Wake Up Call, you can of course go across onto the website and shop the day. You'll see the selection of course from Masterclass as well as Softer Side. However, you're going to see abundance of additional items as well that we will either feature throughout the day or they are just there for you to get your hands on as well. We've got folders remaining as well. We've got the cut and emboss. We've got the mixed media. We've got the builder blocks. Remember those shape cutters as well. Go on to Shop the Show or Shop the Day. That's where you're going to find everything. Still items remaining from Ben's cartload last night, so check them out as well. Those craft kits are phenomenal, and we've still managed to keep that at that really good deal for just a little bit longer, that's for sure. Any birthday celebrations coming up either for yourself or crafty friends, you know that we've got our gift card across there as well. Have a look. While you're there, always have a look at the download section as well, because there's always bits and pieces that get added when it comes to the actual website as well, including additional Valentine's Day inspiration. So not just what Jan's done, but you're going to find some things across there as well. Don't forget about that new launch that we've not actually showcasing today, but it's there on the website. Have a look, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. Thank you very much to Rachel. I think that was her for the day. I will see you with Becky in an hour's time with Johnny and Charlotte, so we'll see you then.